Hello and welcome to Train Simulator 2018. We're up to now. We're currently sat here at York. 150210 is our trusty steed today, and we are on the Harrogate Line. Anyway, without further ado, I'd best actually get this set up, simply because we don't have much time here. So I don't want to be running late. Get that down so we can hear a bit of the engine. We are actually using Armstrong Powerhouse's version of the 150. Nope, we're off already. You see, no hanging about here. And away we go. So we had actually best registered the GSMR, so we're on, which one are we? 2 Charlie 33. Nope, didn't mean to do that. Get rid of that. And of course, normally, I would wait a little bit before attempting to register the GSMR. And the signal that we are on, let's just have a look at that. I would normally have registered the GSMR before we get going. It just says 0. That's a shame. So we'll just put 3 zeros, I guess. Because you shouldn't be registering the GSMR when you get going, but due to the fact that the scenario literally drops you in a minute before you're due to depart, we didn't have time to do all that. So yes, today, as I say, we are looking at the Harrogate Line. This line is available... can't remember where it's available in all honesty, but it's available somewhere. I shall find the link for that and put it in the description below. Absolutely fantastic route, it has to be said. I mean, I used to be based at Leeds when I was a northern conductor, so I've done this route many a times as a conductor working trains, and it's stunningly realistic. The only criticism I actually have is that there's milk bottles in the level crossings, and you'll see what I mean regarding that when we get there. But that could be my own fault. I could be missing some sort of asset, so it's substituted it for milk bottles. You'll see what I mean when we get going further down the line. But yes, absolutely fantastic route. And the Class 150 enhancement pack, or the redone Class 150/2, which is what we're driving today. Armstrong Powerhouse, you can get it from their website. Don't know what the price is at the moment. Can't remember how much I paid for it, but really recommended. Absolutely fantastic train. As for today's scenario, I can't tell you much about how much scenery we're going to see, because I've not actually done this scenario before. It's one that came with the map, or with the route should I say. And so yes, I'm not entirely sure how much other AI traffic we're going to see here, but nevertheless, we'll see. Hopefully it'll have been done, with it having a head code on, it'll have been done to a proper working timetable, and we should see some other trains. I mean, I've not had any errors saying that I'm missing stock, so yeah, fingers crossed. Anyway, so we're now going to branch off to the left. This is Skelton Junction. If you carry on forwards, you're going up the East Coast Main Line there, towards Northallerton, Darlington, Durham, and Newcastle, and then of course East Coast services towards Scotland. Yes, I feel like I can actually give you a bit of information about the line. But yes, if you carry on up there where the electric wires continue, you're off up to Scotland. Speed going up to 55 there. I doubt we'll get to 55 because Poppleton is on the horizon. That was a bit of a sharp jolt there. I think somebody spilt the coffee in the train somewhere. Ah, there is a level crossing there. Now that's interesting, because I've just bought another route for Train Simulator, so I could have bought the missing asset because there were no milk bottles at that level crossing. And that's a shame. I was rather looking forward to seeing them. So anyway, Poppleton is our first station en route. Little village in the middle of nowhere. You have a car park on your left and a signal box on your right. Now Poppleton is where we're going to go into a single line track here. And are we going to overshoot the platform? Fingers crossed we're not. And there you go, you see. We'll open the doors, but right in front of us there, on the track, we have milk bottles. And one in the track, one there, and we have no level crossing. So that's what I'm assuming. Oh, there's the signal box, I think, that I told you about. I'm assuming that's why, that I'm missing an asset, and hence it thinks the logical thing to do is replace it with milk bottles. So, there. So we're into semaphore signalling here. It's a bit oldie-worldy round here. So anyway, doors shut, and buzz off we go again. Full steam ahead. So we're in a single line section now up to Hammerton, our next station. At this part of the route between York and Knaresborough, we're in and out of our single line after every station, effectively. So after Hammerton, it will then branch back into 2 lines, which is very exciting, of course. Now this stretch of line between Knaresborough and York also has less traffic on it. There are services that run from Leeds at 1/2 which run all the way through from Leeds to York via Harrogate, and then you also have services at 59 minutes past, which run just to Knaresborough. So we should see more traffic between Knaresborough and Leeds than we do see between Knaresborough and York, sorry. I do know what I'm trying to say here. Yes, Knaresborough and York there is less traffic. There's only 1 train an hour, whereas between Knaresborough and Leeds there are trains every half an hour, so we should get to see more exciting things. I think a 142 comes the other way at some stage, because I think I might have started this scenario and then fallen out with it, as I tend to do oh so often. Yes, you found that as a conductor between Poppleton and Hammerton, it gave you a long stretch of time where you could really get down the train and get your tickets done. I mean, it's more than 5 miles. Plenty of time. I mean, if the driver flawed it, then obviously you had less time, but some drivers like to just take it steady down this section of the route. And if that was the case, then yeah, you do, because you have quite a lot of time built into the timetable in this area. As you get closer to Leeds, between Harrogate and Leeds particularly, you find that's not the case, but between York and Harrogate, you do have a lot more time built into the timetable. There we go, more milk bottles, on the level crossing. Just keeping a bit of a theme here going on. And more semaphores, a distance signal there. And it says for freight trains, 55 mile an hour is the speed limit down here. 65 for passenger trains, of course, which can only make you wonder, why would they send freight round the Harrogate Line? It's always puzzled me, that, why you would send freight round here. I suppose the logical explanation is so that you're not obstructing the main line services down through Garforth. We have some disused track on the left hand side here, so it can only make you wonder that at some stage this probably was double track all the way down this route. I mean, I can't honestly say, but this will probably have been quite a busy little route here, especially from people of Harrogate. It's quite a big place, this Harrogate. I don't know if it's always been a big place, but you can imagine that they'd need a fairly... It would have been at one time a fairly busy line. And I mean, you can also see, if I just flick to the outside of the train, the distance the fence is here, the boundary fence. This side it's a lot closer to the train, and whoops, we're speeding now. and obviously this side it's not. I can't tell you what that disused station is. Maybe someone in the comments can. As the boundary fence is a bit further away, you can assume that there was another line in there at some stage. It's all very exciting looking at the history of certain routes, especially if you do drive the Woodhead line for Train Simulator. You can really see when you get to Penistone. If you've been to Penistone recently, it's a 2-track station in what is essentially the middle of nowhere. Whereas if you look at the Woodhead line, which I am drifting from the topic here, we are on the Penistone line, I've not forgotten. We are on the Harrogate Line, sorry. If you do look at Penistone and the Woodhead era, it's a completely different world, and it's absolutely fascinating when you look at the historical routes as to how exactly it was. Anyway, Hammerton, focus now. 1.6 miles away. It's on the horizon. I think we can just knock it off now and just coast for the rest of the way, provided we don't get any steep hills, which, looking at the terrain on the track monitor, more milk bottles, looking at the terrain on the track monitor, it doesn't look like we're going to have any steep hills in the near future anyway. I mean, we're running on time. We're expected into Hammerton at 13:23 and 52 seconds, and our estimated time of arrival at this moment in Greenwich Mean Time is 13:23:08, so not rushing, plenty of time. And that is showing a yellow aspect, so we might have a red signal here, so we really had best start to slow down. We won't want to run into something else. I'm a professional driver, of course, we don't do stuff like that. Best put into step 2 there, a bit more sharper braking. So yes, this is Hammerton, so fingers crossed well, I say fingers crossed, I know what happens here. The line opens up into 2. Now, have we got a red signal? Yes, we have. Oh dear. Best bung that into full service if we wish to stop. Now, why have we got a red signal then, I wonder? It says approved, but I don't really want to... I could have stopped a bit closer there, it has to be said. Let's have a nosy at the old track, the route, whatchamacallit, and see what's happening. So if we whiz down here, everything's fine. There's a double set of some sort there in Cattal. Green signal, red signal. How bizarre. Oh well, request to pass signal at danger has been approved, so we've had a look, there's nothing that's going to endanger our service, so yeah, let's press on. You are wrong. You shouldn't be like that. Maybe we've got signalling failure, who knows. Now obviously what we should do, if we've been instructed by the signaller that we can proceed past the signal at danger, is to continue on the route at caution until you get to another signal which is displaying a proceed aspect, either a yellow or a green of some sort. But when we've had a look at the track plan, we can in fact see that the signal in front is, let's have a look, where were we now? It is actually showing green. And so is that one. So for the sake of the timetable, and in keeping with the meeting the times that it's set out for us to do, we're going to press on and put it up to full whack. Just because if you don't arrive where you're meant to at the allotted times, then you get told off and you fail the scenario. So we've been told by the signaller it's all good. So anyway, off we go again. Yes, so we're back into a 2-track section, a few more milk bottles. Back into a 2-track section here, so we should see, I mean we've already spoiled the surprise now, there is a double set of some sort coming the other way. And on the Harrogate line, it could literally be anything that Northern operate. I mean, obviously, I know it's not going to be an electric set of some sort. We're not going to see a 319 blasting up here, or certainly not a 333 in Train Simulator. We know it's got 4 cars of some sort. But on the Harrogate line, you can literally get anything. You can get 158s. I mean, it looks like a 142 here. Is it 2 142s? Is it a 142 and a 144? Oh, it is exciting, isn't it? No, it looks like a 142 and another 142. But yeah, you can literally get anything on this line. With the 4 car sets, you tend to find that it's 150s, 4 150s, sorry, 2 150s coupled together to make a 4 car. 144s. 144s and 142s, 158s occasionally, 155s, 153s, the possibility is literally endless. I mean, at this moment in time when the video was filmed at the beginning of 2018, there weren't any 156s that operated this route. I mean, there are 2 Class 170s which have come down from ScotRail, which are going to be operating on this route, which is exciting. So ScotRail passengers, Northern passengers will be getting an upgrade on this route. Begs the question, however, with a line speed of 65 miles an hour, why they're putting an 100 mile an hour unit on? Can't answer that in all honesty with you. I would have thought that these 75 mile an hour units would be absolutely fine. Perhaps more carriages, but it does make you wonder why the logic behind that. And I mean, 170s are, when they're doing what they're meant to be, they are express units, and there's a lot of stopping and starting on this line. So, oh, we've got another yellow signal. Anyway, this is Cattal. Again, going back into single track here. Now, all of these stations along this bit between York and Knaresborough do have level crossings next to them. Doors open. Right, let's have another quick, whoops, didn't mean to do that, another quick nosy. So we've got the yellow signal there, red signal, but all the way down to Knaresborough, which is quite a long way. Whoa, we didn't mean to do that. Down to Knaresborough there, it's all looking good. There's a lot of red signals though. So we shall, I mean, we've got the green, but then we've got a yellow as well, so that's yeah, we're fine. We're fine. We're good to go. It just means the next signals are red. Nope. So we've whizzed up to 4 as opposed to 3. I hope there's no managers watching. I'll get shot for that. Six miles to Knaresborough now, so we can really open up the Class 150 and give it a good thrashing. And let's have a nosy just to see what that signal's doing, because I've tried to click tab. Oh, we've got a green, it's all fine. We were just waiting for, well, I don't know what we were waiting for, but whatever it was, we were waiting for it. So yes, that next signal now is green, so we can really give it a good thrashing up to Knaresborough. Line speed, here we come. I mean, it has to be said, when I was at Northern, the Class 150 Stroke 2 wasn't my favourite train in the world to operate, and I found that the doors used to stick, especially at places like Burley Park, which is somewhere where we will be visiting today on this line. When you were on a camber, the doors wouldn't shut properly. I'd had it in the pouring rain where you press closed doors and they'd shut but not fully, so you had to walk down getting absolutely soaked and kick them shut. And so the 150 Stroke 2 was never really my favourite unit to operate. I much preferred the Class 150 Stroke 1 because you had the slam door that you could use for your dispatch, absolutely fantastic. And of course you could drop that window down and get your head out, which is fantastic for train dispatch, it has to be said. One reason that I do love the Class 185s, that also allows you to do your dispatch from the cab. Having said that, the Class 150/2 on Train Simulator, providing you get a good route, it's an absolute pleasure to drive, it really is. And if you don't have the 150, have a bit of spare cash that's lying around, you're not sure what to do with it, yeah, really recommended. Armstrong Powerhouse have done an absolutely fantastic job. I mean, well said and done, the original Class 150, which I believe was by Thompson, Thompson or OOVEE, I don't know how you pronounce it, one of them, it was good. It was good, but Armstrong Powerhouse have made something that was good, even better, which it's what we like. I mean, despite the fact that I did used to sign this route with Northern, I do have to use, from the driving aspect, I do have to use the hood on the bottom, which, if I can, I do like to drive trains without that hood on. I have done it at least once before on the Bristol Temple Meads to Bristol Parkway route, but yeah, I do prefer to drive it without that on, but I just don't feel confident enough to drive this particular route without the hood on. Just because, I mean, from a conductor aspect, you don't often look at the speed limits and everything. You know the maximum line speed, but for where each individual speed limit is, your braking distances, where all your stations are, that tends to be driver stuff. Don't tell anybody, it can be our little secret. But yeah, that tends to be driver stuff, does that. So yeah, I thought I'd have the hood on so we didn't have any embarrassing mishaps. Nearly sped there. Nearly did. I was watching it. Yes, we're going to try and accomplish an entire video with no speed in here. I mean, I never speed. It's normally only 0 point something over the speed limit, but you'd really want to be driving professionally, of course. The only time that I tend to speed on this is when it says on the hood that the speed limit is the same all the way up, and then all of a sudden you're plodding along at 65 and it just drops to 50 or for 40, but it doesn't tell you on the hood at the bottom that that's going to happen. I tend to find that with going upwards very sharply there. I tend to find that with freeway routes that tends to happen more. I'm assuming that as we've got a green signal, that AWS indicated there was for the fact that it goes to 40 mile an hour very shortly. So we will keep an eye on that. Just coast for a bit. I mean, I know it's a steep uphill climb, so we'll just let the coasting take off some of our speed. And a yellow signal. So the signal, we're fine into Knaresborough station, but there is a signal just after Knaresborough. So we shall have to watch that, definitely. Anyway, we're back onto double track here, so we're coming round into Knaresborough. We will have a tunnel, which is just coming up now, and then Knaresborough station literally straight afterwards. We'd best keep it in step 1 for the braking. maybe step 2 just to brake a little bit more. So Knaresborough station was always a bit of a strange one, because if you look, the signal is actually on the right hand side of the line. And what you did with that one is the Knaresborough turnbacks, which as I was saying, some of the Leeds Knaresborough services do terminate here on the Harrogate Line. Yes, this is where they terminate, so hopefully we'll have a bit of time here so that I can actually show you what goes on. Just bob out the cab. So the services come in here on this platform. Conductor opens the doors, everybody gets off, and then they shut the doors and it actually shunts out here with this signal aspect. So it goes over here, over the viaduct, and there's no limit of shunt here. I mean, there's your dolly there. So the conductor would sit in the back. When it gets to that point, he would give one on the buzzer and the train would stop on the viaduct, looking out over this beautiful scenery. And then the train would shunt back into this platform here, where the Class 150 is, and load everybody up, and off we go again down to Leeds. So that's what happens here. Oop, doors are shutting. Best focus again. We have the signal. It's all good. So yes, that's what happens at Knaresborough. So, whoop, we're rolling back a little bit there. Nobody saw anything. You're good. Now, I think there's a bit of a speed limit over Knaresborough, is there? Yeah, this is the beautiful Knaresborough Viaduct. If you do have a look for pictures, you'll see some absolutely stunning images on Flickr, for instance, of trains going over Knaresborough Viaduct. And if you've never been, absolutely fantastic. There's a lot of lovely cafes in Knaresborough. You can quite easily, especially in the summer, you can quite easily kill an afternoon at Knaresborough. So anyway, on we get. So we should see more traffic from here. Our next station now is Starbeck, and then we're on to Harrogate. So by Harrogate, we're effectively halfway through the route. Blimey, isn't the time passing fast there? So yes, on to Harrogate now. Getting an AWS again there. I mean, I'm assuming that that's for this dropping down to 50 miles an hour, because we've got a green aspect there. Around quite a sharp corner here, and then we do need to start slowing down for our descent into Starbeck. So Starbeck station, we'll see the level crossing just before it. Now, being a conductor based at Leeds, Starbeck was an interesting one. Level crossing there, bits and bobs going on. Yeah, Starbeck was always an interesting one, because out of all the routes that we signed out of Leeds, York both ways, Sheffield, Doncaster, Manchester Victorias, Huddersfields, we basically went all over, Skipton, Ilkley's. Starbeck, this station we're coming up on, was the only platform that had a Harrington hump, and it's this exact platform here, on the Leeds-bound platform, which is the platform that had the Harrington hump. And I've not actually driven through Starbeck this way before, so I don't know if it's been replicated. Ooh, there's another train there, and it looks like a Class 150/1. No, in Train Simulator, the Harrington hump at Starbeck has not been replicated. Which is a shame, because it's quite a nice little feature, is that? But no, the platform at Starbeck, especially round down at the far end there, and of course down at this end, is so deep in terms of the train that they had to build another bit of platform on top of it just to get it to all work. And you know what? I think that's going to be our screenshot for this video. fantastic. That's a brilliant screenshot, is that, isn't it? So there you go. Now you know where the thumbnail on the video comes from. So yes, anyway, without further ado, get the doors shut, Mr. Conductor. Oh, and our good friend, the other Class 150, appears to be going. And for some reason, he didn't want to get on. Well, this train stops at all the stations, so I can't imagine why he didn't want to get on. But anyway, ours is not to reason why and all that. So our next stop on the line now will be Harrogate. Now, Harrogate is the busiest station, I would say, on this route. Although you do get told off, it's pronounced Harrogate if you've not been there before. I mean, to the average Yorkshireman like myself, most people call it Harrogate, but no, you get told off. It's very posh in Harrogate, sorry. And of course, around Knaresborough, we're doing some work on the track there. Give him a nice little toot. Should have done that earlier, actually. I hope they don't report me. But yes, Harrogate is pretty much the main event on this line. You tend to find a lot of day trippers here, and of course a lot of people do commute from Harrogate into Leeds. From Harrogate, that's pretty much where the scenery starts going downhill. I mean, it's a very pretty route, this, very scenic at the moment, but from Harrogate you do go, well, there's a very pretty viaduct you go over actually, but I won't give it away with spoilers. You just have to stay tuned and carry on watching for that. Don't feel tempted to skip ahead in the video to see that pretty viaduct, because you can't do that. You have to stay and watch the full length of the video. I mean, who knows, something very exciting might happen between here and Harrogate. You tend to find as well with Harrogate that a lot of people coming in now will get off, because it's actually quicker from places like Poppleton and Hammerton, if you are going to Leeds, to go up towards York and change there for an express service, either a Transpennine Express, sorry, or a cross-country service from York to Leeds. It's quicker to do it that way, but from Harrogate, that's kind of the tipping point for this route. Oh, yeah, in fact, no, maybe Knaresborough. Kind of the tipping point now, so you do get more people going into Leeds this way. Yes, anyway, best start slowing down. No doubt we're going to get an AWS, which we have. So put it onto step 1, just cruise down. No need to brake harsh. I mean, after all, we're effectively carrying royalty on this part of the line now, or they like to think they are royalty. Or, well, not everybody. There's some lovely people from Harrogate, of course. But we wouldn't want anybody to scald themselves on their, well, it's 20 to 2 now, nearly quarter to 2 game time, so they might have their afternoon tea on the train. Who knows? Who knows? Just slowing into 20 now. Just coming up on the left-hand side, you'll see Harrogate signal box. I'll just pan out so that you can see that. Now that's on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, you do have Harrogate bus station. We'll just do a bit more accelerating, just get up this bit of a hill. Yes, Harrogate signal box on the left there. Actually quite well replicated. We did have to go to the signal box as part of conductor training. And then on the left-hand side, right-hand side, sorry, we appear to have some Brighton and Hove and Southern Vectis buses, which is an interesting combination. And I can't say that I've ever seen them in Harrogate, but alas, they are there. Transdev must have bought some buses from down south. Right, anyway, without further ado, and Harrogate is actually brilliantly replicated on this route. You can tell that they really have spent some time and effort on this. So if we flick outside, I mean, in real life you have the waiting room, the bridge there. I'm assuming they're train spotters. We've seen you. Yeah, she's looking at her watch, pretending she's waiting for the train. Then of course you've got the ticket office in there, a few cafes and everything, and a few toilets on the station. absolutely brilliant is this route. You tend to find as well that the trains on this line stop further up here towards the stairs, and on there they stop more down this end by the cafe. Anyway, we're off again. Enough yapping. And away we go again. Now just out of Harrogate is our next calling point, Hornbeam Park. Now Hornbeam Park, you tend to find there's a lot of students that get on there and get off there. You find that a lot get on in the morning going into Harrogate, and then a lot come out on an evening. So I don't know if it's, well, there must be something. That must be where everybody lives that goes to Harrogate College, or I don't know if there's a university at Harrogate, but that must be where they all live. Because they all get the train there. And you find that coming out of Harrogate as well, this is where the timetable tends to get a bit tighter. And you can never do all your tickets in time now from this bit forward. You get very little time sat in the back cab doing nothing, which some might argue that's how it should be. But it is always nice to know that everybody's got a ticket and nobody's hiding down the front. Not that that happens on the Harrogate line, of course. Anyway, speed limit now dropping to 45 in front, so I guess we'd better ease off, just do a little bit of coasting. A little bit more maybe, that's excellent. Nope, we don't want throttle, you didn't mean to do that, did you? And then round to the left, and then we should be round to the right. The platforms at Hornbeam Park are slightly staggered as well. Not that that's anything particularly exciting, because there's plenty of staggered platforms round the UK, but there you go. I was just informing you, of course. A bit more brake, methinks. We don't want to overshoot. Now, there is actually quite a big gap at Hornbeam Park on this platform, as it's on a bit of a curve. I don't think that's been replicated quite as... It's not quite as severe in real life, but that was a place where you had to tell people to mind the gap, because obviously you didn't want anybody falling down. Anyway, it's been nice, but let's go again, down in towards Leeds. And between Hornbeam Park now and our next station, which is Pannal, is where we'll find our nice little viaduct. Well, I say nice little viaduct, it's actually quite exciting. It's very beautiful, and for me this was always one of the highlights of the route, going over this viaduct. The only problem with the viaduct is, very shortly afterwards, you end up with the sharpest curve on this route where there is a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit, so you could never fly across the viaduct at any exciting speed or anything, which was always a shame, of course, because it's nice to go fast. Everybody likes going fast on the train. It's one of the highlights of being on the train, is that you can go fast. So anyway, here we are. For me, this was always the main event. And we'll zoom out just so you can see quite exactly how spectacular that viaduct is. Like I say, this for me was always the main event of the Harrogate Line. Boasting absolutely stunning views. I think there's a river in the bottom. And I have driven under this in the car. There is a rut somewhere that goes under there, but that's very exciting. But yes, anyway, it's pretty much over now. And now you'll see exactly what I mean when it comes to the curve on the end of the viaduct. And you normally get, there we go, flange noise, beat me to it. I was just about to say you normally get quite a loud flange noise around this corner. Is there anything coming the other way? We're going to miss it if we're sat at this side. I suppose you can't really sit at the other side as a driver, can you? It's always nice to see the other traffic, which is coming the other way, but no, there's nothing. Come on, a little bit further, there we go, we've passed that now, up to full speed again, 60 mile an hour, see if we can get there. Oh no, I've just realised we've got a cross in the box for Hammerton. I'm sure we stopped at Hammerton, did you not see me stop at Hammerton? Well, that's annoying. We'll focus on Pannal now. Yeah, that's very annoying, is that? Because I thought that we'd stopped at Hammerton. We'd done the doors correctly. How very irritating. Anyway, next station now is Pannal. Can't honestly say that there's much exciting to tell you about Pannal, or indeed Weeton, which is the station after that. So for this little bit of the route, I'm going to now shut up, simply because I've not got anything else exciting to tell you. But yes, this station is Pannal. And nobody saw there that I did actually put the accelerator on before the guard gave the buzzer. Nobody saw that. We were well aware that everything was fine. Anyway, we're now coming into Weeton, which is the next stop for this service. Again, it has to be said, not much that I can tell you about Weeton. Other than the fact that it's, well, there's 2 platforms, one to go north, one to go south, and that's pretty much all there is at Weeton. Are we going to stop? I don't like using full service, but I think I might have misjudged my distance there a little bit. So yes, this is Weeton. A very busy little town, as you can see. Quite nice, actually. There you go. Visit Weeton. Why not? I'm sure there's a cafe there that you can entertain yourselves in. And for some reason we seem to have an unusual amount of standing time here at Weeton. Maybe I must have just absolutely hammered it between Pannal and Weeton, which I didn't think I did, but evidently I did. Absolutely flown along here. Come on, getting bored now. Get the doors shut, Mr. Conductor. Let's go. Everybody's got on, everybody's got off. No need to wait for late runners. There'll be another train in half an hour. And off we go again. Full steam ahead. So anyway, this is that was the last station now, Weeton, until we get into West Yorkshire. I think Harrogate's all in North Yorkshire, it has to be said, but all I know is that nobody could use Metro cards. There was no specific tickets that you could use. That's not the big tunnel, by the way. So yes, Horsforth is our next station, 5 miles away, so we can really open up the 150. I say that as if we've not done it already, but we can blow the cobwebs off if any cobwebs have formed since between York and Knaresborough. Fast working spiders on these 150s, I tell you. Cobwebs where you didn't think cobwebs could possibly form. But yes, as we get to Horsforth, we're back in West Yorkshire, so we're back in Godson County. Having said that, I suppose North Yorkshire, still Yorkshire, isn't it? So it's still good. So this is another viaduct. Very pretty. Yeah, perhaps, maybe I was lying saying the scenery went downhill after Harrogate. Scenery goes downhill after Horsforth, definitely, I can tell you that much for a fact. No, we must be going uphill. Drop the speed off. So we do actually spend quite a while in a tunnel in just a bit. Bramhope Tunnel coming up here, one of the longest on the routes that we signed out of Leeds. Can't tell you exactly how long it is. In fact, maybe I can. Let's just do some quick Googling here and see if I can give you some factual information about Bramhope Tunnel. So Bramhope Tunnel is on the Harrogate Line, just between Leeds and Horsforth and the Arthington Viaduct. So I'm assuming that viaduct that I said we couldn't name is called the Arthington Viaduct, and then this is Bramhope Tunnel just round the corner here. It is notable for its 2.138 mile in length and is grade 2 listed, so just over 2 miles long is this tunnel. So by the time we do get out of the tunnel, we should be coming into Horsforth. And we're still going uphill, which is exciting. And yes, this tunnel, Bramhope Tunnel, opened in 1849, which I didn't even realise that the Harrogate Line was open that early. But yes, maybe that's just my ignorance there, but the Bramhope Tunnel, which we're currently in, opened nearly 150 years ago. What am I on about? Nearly 150 years ago. It opened 150 years ago. Just over. So, well, I mean, it's stood up for so long. Let's hope it doesn't fall down now. That would be rather unfortunate. So the gradient now is just starting to level off. And then we'll be going dropping down into Horsforth. Yes, out of the tunnel now, so we just still going uphill actually, not quite gone to downhill yet, but we'd best start braking because the speed limit drops to 45 miles an hour very shortly. Yes, now we're firmly back in West Yorkshire, so the next stop now is Horsforth. This is where you tend to find it gets extremely busy on these services going in towards Leeds. Horsforth, Headingley, Burley Park, all busy commuter stations. You tended to find, especially on a morning service, that after Burley Park, no sorry, I'm lying there, after Bramhope Tunnel, when you get to Horsforth, this is where the trains in a morning, the peak time services, tended to get full and standing. So we've got just on the right hand side there a nice siding. Now that's used for the Horsforth turn-back services, which operate on Sundays, strike days, and when else do they operate? Oh yeah, there's a 1740 something or other, and a 1716, which just go from Leeds to Horsforth, aimed to just alleviate some of the demand at peak time on these trains. Now Horsforth, despite being a fairly small station in size, does have the odd facility here and there. We've got a ticket office on the Leeds bound platform, which can just be found in there. There you go, that does actually have a person sat there in real life. And then, I don't think there's one on this side. No, there's just a bus shelter on this side, little car park. Yes, that's Horsforth. Pretty exciting stuff. Again, a very long and unusual time that we're sat here at Horsforth. Maybe I ought to drive slowly. Maybe I'm just driving too fast. Buzz buzz, off we go. Next stop now is Headingley. So we're back, I'm not sure what postcode Horsforth has, but Headingley definitely has an LS postcode, so we're back into Leeds now. Which is exciting because it's always nice to finish the route, especially on this route, quite a long route, especially for a commuter service, or a stopping train, an hour and 10 minutes. Gets to the point where you're thinking, come on, let's just get to Leeds now. Be getting bored, got other videos to fix. It's actually quite a steep downhill gradient to come into Leeds. I hadn't realised it so much before. Oh, 142 going the other way. Did notice the 142, of course, by Pannal, but for whatever reason I didn't point it out, or Weeton, I can't remember. I did notice it go past. Oh yes, I was having a chat with my other half, so I just had to pause the microphone there. I know, terribly unprofessional, isn't it? But if you don't tell, I won't. But yes, always like to point out the other rolling stock. Odd to see a 142 on this section of the line at this time in the afternoon. You'd have thought there'd have been, I mean, don't tend to give 142s up this way unless it's coupled up to a 144. The only 142s tend to run between on the Leeds to Horsforth. The peak time ones, just to alleviate, like I say, alleviate the amount of people, so everybody's not squashed in. I guess I'd best leave it in step 2 braking, just because we're going down such a steep gradient. Yes, again, Headingley, staggered platforms, because that's exciting. Perhaps maybe a bit too much braking, coming in and so slow. Now there is actually a road down there, but for some reason there's not here. Bizarre. How bizarre. Anyway, get stopping. And now we're not braking enough. God, this is a disaster calling at Headingley. Maybe we shouldn't bother. I mean, we've already failed the simulation, the scenario, sorry. Because for some reason we didn't stop at Hammerton. I mean, if you look back in the video, you will see that we quite clearly did stop at Hammerton. I mean, to be honest with you, that's if anybody's still watching. I'm hoping that you've stuck around for the full duration of the video and you've not thought, oh, well, we'll go watch something else. Again, lots and lots of waiting time. Bizarre. Very strange. Yes, less than a mile now to Burley Park, which will be our last station on the Harrogate Line. Well, the Harrogate Line specifically. I mean, obviously I know that we're going to Leeds. But yeah, Burley Park, again, nothing that I can particularly tell you that's exciting about Burley Park. Again, very curved platform, and the old customer service director for Northern, when it was a Bellio, had her Facebook profile picture stood on the platform at Burley Park, so isn't that exciting? Or it was stood on the bridge at Burley Park. It was one of the things. It was done at Burley Park anyway. So there you go. That's exciting for you. That's Burley Park's claim to fame anyway. The managing director staff, not managing director, sorry, customer service director had her Facebook profile picture taken here. You see, the amount of useful knowledge and facts that you learn on this channel, I should be charging for this stuff, simply. Or to put it simply, anyway. Here we are at Burley Park, and a lot of women all wearing the same dress. Oops, we didn't mean to put it into emergency. Full service would suffice. Yes, we all seem to be wearing the same dress. Maybe that's why they've spaced themselves apart and they're all getting on at separate doors. I can imagine there's been a bit of a dispute on that platform. Anyway, off we go, Leeds Platform 1B, our next stop now, in just over 2 miles. I mean, we do go over another quite exciting viaduct on our way into Leeds, which is just going over the Kirkstall area of Leeds. Or you go over Kirkstall Road anyway, which is, you get quite a nice little view going on there. I mean, it's not like it costs anything, is it? Yes, I'll flick to the outside of the train just so you can see the viaduct that we've got. Oh, not that one. Try again. So there you go. Very nice. Pretty little viaduct. So it's, I mean, yeah, it's a very nice route all in all. A bit more scenery before Leeds, but has to be said, out of all the scenery on this route, the Leeds little section of the route, part of the route, was not the best, shall we say. Anyway, so this is the curve now in towards Leeds. We'll shortly be joining. Oh, it is a green. I was worrying there for a second that we were on a red. Yes, so now we're joining the Skipton and Ilkley portion of the route. So we'll be joining the overhead wires. So yes, this is where you'll start to see 333s, 321s, the Carlisle services, for instance. I mean, obviously we won't be seeing 333s on this map yet, or this route yet, because there isn't a 333 for Train Simulator. We'd best start to slow down now coming into Leeds. Oh, a little bit more braking, methinks, because we don't want to speed. We've already done that once today. Don't want to do it again. So yes, coming into Leeds now, we're joining the line from Bradford Interchange, London King's Cross and Huddersfield, these lines here. Oh, we're speeding. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. We aimed for a video with no speeding, and we speeded, or sped. So apologies for that, everybody. Oh, there we go, there's a double 158 there coming round. Now that's the line from Sheffield, which is very odd because they don't tend to put double 158s on there. But it's exciting that we're having a race into Leeds, though. I have a feeling as he's already got past the gantry, he's probably going to win. Is there anything else of interest round Leeds? A London, perhaps? An East Coast of some description? No. No, there's not. Oh well. Never mind, eh? Well, we got to see that nice little 158. I thought we were... Oh yeah, we are coming in on 1B. I was going to say, I thought we were coming in. I thought we were going to go round to 3 then. Very nice, very nice. Leeds, absolutely fantastic in terms of the replication that's gone on. The car park here is perhaps a little bit shaky, but we'll let them off with that. It's hardly crime of the century, is it? So we're stopping on platform 1B. For some reason there's no train in 1C, but we're not going down to 1C. So forgive me that I don't take it down to the buffers, but I do just want to finish this scenario in the right place. I know obviously we're not going to get a tick for it, but yeah, that's just one of them things, isn't it? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. Do throw a like in the video's direction. If you did, of course, enjoy it. Just helps other people to find the video. In the top left-hand corner of the video at this moment in time, there's a button to subscribe. Please do so. Funny. So you don't miss out on any train simulator action. And then on the right-hand side, there's various other videos. Why not check them out? You might enjoy them. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, goodbye for now.